American Airlines Flight 315, A Tale of Resilience and Heroism. Introduction. On the morning of January 19, 2002, American Airlines Flight 315 prepared for a cross-country journey from Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, to New York City's John F. Kennedy International Airport, JFK. The Boeing 757-2000 was carrying 194 passengers and crew members, most of them expecting a routine, uneventful flight. As passengers settled into their seats, none suspected that this flight would soon turn into a harrowing tale of resilience and heroism. The aircraft itself, well-maintained and regularly inspected, had a strong safety record, and the crew was among American Airlines' most experienced, with thousands of hours logged in the cockpit. Takeoff and early warnings. After conducting their pre-flight checks, the pilots received clearance from air traffic control for takeoff. The 757-200, with its twin engines roaring, ascended smoothly into the clear blue skies over Los Angeles. For the first few minutes, everything seemed to be going according to plan. Passengers were just beginning to settle into the flight when, at around 10,000 feet, an indicator light flashed on the control panel in the cockpit. The pilots initially thought it might be a minor issue or a sensor error, something not uncommon in commercial aviation. However, after running diagnostics, they realized the problem was with the aircraft's right engine, which had started to lose power. Despite attempting to reset the system, the engine failed to respond fully. What had seemed like a routine flight suddenly took on a very different tone. A decision had to be made: quickly continue on one engine or turn back to LAX. Deciding to return. The pilots, aware of the risks of continuing cross-country on a single engine, made the critical decision to return to LAX for an emergency landing. They informed air traffic control and requested an immediate clearance to land. As the plane began to circle back, the cabin crew received word of the situation and prepared for the possibility of an emergency landing. The captain made an announcement over the intercom, explaining to passengers that the plane would be returning to Los Angeles due to a minor technical issue, but he refrained from providing specific details to prevent panic. The atmosphere in the cabin. The sudden change, of course, alarmed many passengers. Some noticed the plane was making an unusual turn, while others began whispering about the abrupt descent. Flight attendants, trained to remain calm under pressure, moved quickly through the aisles, assuring passengers that they were simply returning as a precaution. But the tension was palpable. Passengers exchanged worried glances, some clutching their armrests tightly. Meanwhile, the crew prepared the cabin for an emergency landing, instructing passengers to assume the brace position and securing loose items. Engine power loss escalates. As the aircraft descended toward LAX, the situation worsened. The right engine, already underperforming, now appeared to be completely non-operational. This left the pilots with the challenging task of bringing down a Boeing 757 on a single engine, a scenario they had trained for countless times but rarely encountered in real life. The captain communicated with the first officer as they reviewed the emergency procedures for a single-engine landing. With one engine down, maneuvering and aligning the aircraft would require exceptional skill and precision. The emergency landing plan called for absolute focus from the cockpit crew, who were in constant communication with the ground teams at LAX. Emergency responders on the ground began to prepare for a possible accident, setting up along the runway with fire trucks, ambulances, and other support units on standby. The descent. Inside the aircraft, passengers clutched onto their seats, some silently praying, others visibly shaken. The crew, though composed, moved deliberately, repeatedly assuring passengers that the pilots were highly trained for this type of situation. Despite the reassurances, the reality was unsettling. Landing such a large plane on one engine is a rare and challenging procedure, even for seasoned pilots. The pilots meticulously adjusted the plane's descent, handling altitude and airspeed with exacting care. The reduced thrust from one engine meant they would have to bring the plane down at a steeper angle than usual. Even with this added difficulty, they maintained their composure, working together to bring the aircraft back to the runway. Final approach and touchdown. As Flight 315 neared the runway, the silence in the cabin was intense. the aircraft's single-functioning engine roared as it made its final approach, aligned perfectly with the runway. Passengers were instructed to brace, and flight attendants issued final checks to ensure everyone was prepared. Outside, emergency responders held their breath, watching as the Boeing 757-200 descended closer to the ground. In a testament to their skill, the pilots executed a flawless landing. The plane touched down smoothly on the runway, rolling to a gradual stop without incident. Inside the cabin, passengers erupted into applause and relief. Many were overwhelmed with emotion, thankful to be safely back on the ground. Aftermath and emergency response. Emergency response teams quickly approached the aircraft, assessing the situation and assisting passengers off the plane. The calm and swift handling of the incident by the flight and cabin crew received significant praise from aviation officials and passengers alike. All 194 passengers and crew members were unharmed, a rare outcome in situations involving engine failure. American Airlines immediately launched an investigation to determine the cause of the engine failure and to ensure such issues would be minimized in the future. Legacy of Flight 315. The story of American Airlines Flight 315 has become one of modern aviation's most remarkable cases of professionalism and poise under pressure. The incident underscored the importance of rigorous pilot training and emergency preparedness, showcasing the effectiveness of procedures designed to manage even the most unforeseen circumstances, the power of preparedness and teamwork. The story of American Airlines Flight 315 is a vivid illustration of how preparedness and teamwork can be life-saving assets in aviation. When the aircraft's engine malfunctioned shortly after takeoff, the pilots, both highly trained and experienced, knew they had to act quickly to manage the emergency. Their calm, decisive approach to returning safely to the airport was rooted in years of rigorous training. From the moment they realized the right engine's performance was faltering, they seamlessly activated emergency protocols, relying on well-practiced communication and operational skills to guide every decision. In the cabin, the crew's preparedness was equally critical. Despite the tension rising among passengers, the flight attendants executed their training flawlessly, moving with precision and maintaining composure. They quickly communicated the need to brace for an emergency landing, ensuring passengers followed protocol and removing any obstacles that could pose a risk during the descent. Their calm, reassuring presence was vital in maintaining order, and their confidence in the pilot's abilities helped alleviate passenger fears, underscoring the essential role of trust among all team members during a crisis. Beyond individual skills, it was the collaborative spirit, the synergy between pilots, cabin crew, and ground teams that marked this event as a testament to teamwork. Each member played a specific role, but they shared a unified mission ensuring every person on board returned safely. The coordination with air traffic control and emergency response teams on the ground was equally essential, illustrating how aviation safety depends not only on individual training, but also on precise collaboration across departments. This interconnectedness allowed for a quick, organized response that ensured a smooth, safe landing. Flight 315's safe outcome highlights the life and death importance of preparation, practice, and teamwork. It reinforces the notion that in aviation, true expertise is more than skill, it's the ability to work as a cohesive unit, under pressure, trusting that every member of the team is prepared and ready. This incident underscores that when the unexpected happens, the real difference lies in how a team united in purpose and trust can navigate even the most challenging situations to a successful end.